Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to Jay's Gamepad, everybody, and the What's Tapping podcast where me and my brother, we're just going to talk about Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West.
Horizon.
Yeah. So basically, as you already know, I wanted to do this podcast with you for a minute because, we've both played the first game and we've both played the second one, but in regards to the second game, you played it on the PlayStation 5 and I played it on the PS4. And when we was kind of talking a little bit about it before, there's I realized that there's actually like big glaring differences between the two. So
there's a few.
There's a few, but but apart from that, like I want to get your thoughts and opinions on the game overall and stuff, innit? What is that? We can kind of go through it and stuff because obviously I've done a review for the game already and stuff, innit? So we can kind of go through like the segments and stuff. We can kind of just go through different segments and details and stuff. But then I guess after that we could probably get into like the new features if you've seen them or downloaded it and experienced it and stuff. And yeah, we could probably give it like a little, like a little, I don't know, score or whatever it is. I don't know, but basically just going to be a conversation between brothers playing the same game on two different consoles. That's basically what it's going to be. But it's going to be mainly you talking though. I ain't going to front because I've already got a review.
Ask away anywhere, but I don't know. Overall, like the game, I think it was a nice experience. For me, it was one of the first games that showed me not the full potential of the PlayStation, but quite a bit of it in terms of graphics and all that.
Yeah. What are you talking about? The first game?
No, the second one.
Okay, Forbidden West.
Forbidden West. You want to talk about the first one, like the difference between the two, or something like that?
You can do if it's relevant to any any thoughts and opinions, but
yeah, I guess when it comes to story, maybe, yeah.
All right then. Well, let's start off with like the story then. Let's start off with the story. Like, what did you think about the story of Forbidden West?
It was interesting. Basically, well, the connection between the two where basically you had kind of a sci-fi kind of means in terms of like the robotics and the technology that she had the main character to deal with, but in an environment that was basically like restarted from scratch, where they had no clue what technology is. They just knew about magic and a bit of believing in Earth and all the energy of the land, basically, and worshipping all them robots to a certain extent for some of the tribes.
Yeah.
But basically, the transition between that and number two was quite interesting because it took it to the next level where now you reconnect with actually the original people that left all that technology down there, and you expand a bit, basically, the possibility of the game. From now, I don't know if later on they're gonna extend to other planets, or basically they're gonna involve more technology coming from the other side as well. I don't know what they're gonna do about that. Maybe they may not just basically stay all the way through with bow and arrow. But in terms of story, I think it was quite nice. The end of it was a bit kind of like still open in a certain way, where you still don't have enough information about the main enemies and all that. You don't see them, you don't see which kind of environment they're living in, or basically no background story about them apart from the talk and some of the narrative that you got in the story. So there's still a bit kind of like there's a lot to expand. I don't know what they want to do with the game. If they want to keep on going with it, maybe they may just focus on that later on. But as far as I'm concerned, it was okay. The story was okay. Some of the side story that's basically kind of interesting, or basically in sync with the main story as I would like them to be. But it was okay.
Did you and like, I don't know, anyone comes across this stream or end up watching it, just so you know, there's probably gonna be spoilers, isn't it? So if you don't want to be spoiled, then go and play the game, then come back and watch this podcast. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we're just gonna talk, and and like whatever comes out, whether it's spoiler, non-spoiler. So like so in regard to the story, because obviously like Forbidden West picks up like 6 months after the first game, innit? And stuff. Yeah. So like so like you touched upon the fact that like it felt like a bit disjointed from the first one in terms of story wise. Like would you? I mean, like, do you think that's with the story? Do you think that's with the characters as well? Because I felt like it felt a little bit disjointed with the characters and stuff. Like, as in, it was in terms of how the characters that Aloy met in the first game, was it kind of like had this disdain towards her, and how she was acting a bit like weird. I mean, weird with them, you know.
Yeah, to a certain extent, I don't know yet. Like the transition, like when you finish playing the first one and all that, it's like, you know, you finally, you know, beat the main villain and all that, and you kind of like reminiscing all the story with all your friend and all the other character, all the NPC that you meet in the game. But as soon as you jump in number 2, it's like she's a different character that trying to push everybody away, basically, don't want to get close to them, like, you know, as a it's my duty because I'm, you know, I'm the clone and all that kind of bullshit that she's been trying to portray all the way to the game. But yeah, it was a bit weird at the beginning. After that, I just went with it because they were trying to basically make you understand, I think, like, you know, no, you're gonna be the one after you just progress yourself forward. It's not gonna be like a game based on a lot of people around. You know.
Yeah. What's it like? Obviously, was it in this game, like, Aloy meets new characters in it. She comes across new friends, new characters, new antagonists, villains, and stuff. You know what I mean? And obviously, like, what? So, like, did you like the way that like, in terms of like the characters that she meets, like, it kind of focuses more on the new characters compared to the old characters and stuff, and where the story went with the I mean, like, with the characters.
Yeah, I think, like, yeah, well, at the end, first of all, I don't think that they had the choice. You know, it was a new area of the land. It would be weird to have them old characters interacting down there, like, you know, if they know the place. You know?
Yeah, it's true.
Basically, yeah, the new characters, some of them were interesting, some of the different tribes and all that in the area that, you know, live in all the same area, but live in so much different way and culture. It was interesting to see different type of people, basically, up from the norm from the first one.
Yeah. And obviously, what's his name? Is it Silas? Was it like the black brother from? Yeah. Like, I did think that he would have played a bigger role in the second game. I thought that, like, he would be more prominent, and I guess he was a bit more active compared to the first game. But I thought that because like, halfway through the game, leading up to the, like, you know, the last quarter of the game, the end of the game, like, he's quite prominent. So I was kind of expecting that in the second game, and we didn't really get that. Like, most of the time when you saw him, it was through, like, the HoloLens or whatever it was. It was like hologram. You saw him. It was like near to the end where you actually got to see him. But I kind of, like, was it for me? I kind of, I mean, it's weird because it was almost like he was like your rival kind of thing. Then near to the end of the game, like, obviously his character kind of switches up and he kind of helps you.
I don't think he was mostly, not really the rival, but mostly the guy that was there to build her up. Every time, basically, was basically putting challenge in front of her all the time. Is, you know, she's not fighting him directly, but he's the one that basically creating situation for her to basically have a conflict from the first one to the second one, like helping the other tribe chief to basically to control all the wild animals and all that.
Yeah. Like, he was kind of manipulating her, like he kind of was on this thing about, like, you know what I mean, like, you know what I mean, like, you only see, you know what I mean, like, you only see, like, the first few, like, steps, but I'm all thinking 10 steps ahead of you and stuff, like, kind of dictating and manipulating her for his own gain. If you go,
it was like some type of teacher, but very kind of, like, you know, harsh teacher. You know.
Yeah, but no, I mean, but I do like that character and the actor that plays him as well. He's got that voice that I like, isn't it? You know what I mean? Pause. But he's got that voice, isn't it? Like, what's it like? You watch Fringe, isn't it?
Yeah. He's in Fringe as well.
Yeah, like, that's where I first know him from. You know, Fringe.
Yeah, he's a nice actor. He's a nice actor, definitely.
Yeah, man, definitely a good actor. Is there what's it? So, like, what do you think about, like, like, the big bad, like, the major villains? Like, for example.
Well, I would have loved to see a bit more of them, basically.
Yeah, that's one thing I thought they could have done.
More narrative about them talking to each other about basically their own world or even their own thought about the mission. Basically, only at the point of view of basically that woman that was supposed to be the kind of ex-girlfriend of that 76 she's the clone of. You know, apart from that, all the rest basically you don't really know much about them. Apart from the time where they just want to kill Aloy and kill and destroy something, but there is not much narrative about them basically, which is I think should have been developed a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. Did you? Was it like? Didn't you? So basically, like there was a point in the game, yeah. So like you know when was it she first? Okay, so basically, like at the beginning of the game, yeah, like that, like they was it the developers did what like I hate. I mean, what a lot of developers seem to do, and I hate it. Is where was it? It's almost like they take away all your abilities from the first game. You know what I mean? Or like if you're left with them, they kind of like weakened them or whatever. And there was a specific armor that she had. You know the final armor? Like I don't know if you ever got it for like was it Zero Dawn, but she had like a shield armor. Yeah. And did you did you notice that how they took that away from her right at the beginning of the game? So obviously you see her and you don't see the shield around her. And the reason why I bring that up here is because when she comes across like the main enemies, like the main villains, you notice that they've got like this mad high-tech shield armor.
Yes, indeed.
And it's almost like they like weakened her or took it away from her, or like changed it, should I say, just so that like, do you know what I mean? Like to make out like the technology that these new villains have got is something great. Because like when they first come and you fight, and you fight one of them, like you can't really harm him, innit? You know what I'm saying? Because he's got the shield armor. And I remember playing, thinking to myself, this is fucked up. Like at the end of number one, you had the shield armor. It might not be the same technology or as strong, but like he's lacing me up, and it's like taking half my bar with like one hit. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I would say that that's developer
the story and plot.
Yeah. The developer just been lazy, you're right, because it doesn't make no sense to have a character that can already have a shield and all that at the end of the game, and suddenly, like, basically she regressed back to, you know.
Yeah, was it like
one's got a shield, and that's why just basically make them so much hard to get for all the game. You know, even if you didn't give her a shield like so strong, she should have an armor basically that the same type of spec that basically. Okay, you can do it with the how they call it the skill tree basically to a certain extent. Get that type of shield for a while.
But she has it in the skill tree though. It's like you know how like you have super in it where like you press the right trigger and like they will do something. I can't remember what part of the skill tree it is, but she has it. It's like when you press it, it's like she has a shield, but it only lasts for like I don't know, like 30 seconds or something.
Yeah, but that wasn't, you know, basically they changed it to put it down there, but basically, I don't know. Some of the decisions that they made in terms of weapons and all that, I think that it was a bit too exaggerated to a certain extent. I would rather have less arrows or less bow with more option to basically change the arrowheads, you know?
Yeah.
It would have been easier than basically, because the grind is long. The game is fantastic, but the grind is long to upgrade your stuff and all that, you know, and even there's something that later on when you talk about the upgrade that they just basically did at the moment, that's a lot of players are doing at the moment. And I found it still silly, you know?
Yeah. Was it so kind of going in, was it a little bit into like the gameplay and the system and stuff? So what did you think about like the gameplay, the fighting system, you know, obviously coming off the first game, like what did you think of it? Like what do you think was the biggest improvement from the first game, and what did you and what was it, and what if they did anything new that you liked in this one?
One of the things the hunting system, the new one, basically where you need to basically rip off parts and all that, make it a lot more challenging and a lot more fun to a certain extent, instead of just basically focusing on getting damage and just blowing up the beast and basically getting whatever you want. Like now you need to basically just take out some and use as well different type of ammo. I like the system exists since the old one, but they develop it a bit more when different type of ammo can get chain reactions and all that. Basically, the only thing that I would like to say is like basically it's not very specific, because sometimes you can use like ice on something that basically is supposed to be weak against another thing and still freeze him. You know,
if it's strong enough. If it's strong enough, you can still do it.
So basically, I never had basically some time to focus on a certain type of ammo, especially for certain boss all the way through the game. Basically,
Yeah,
I
no,
was just
no, no. Was it?
game
Was
the
it? Was
strongest
it?
one that I had.
That's actually a good point, you know, because even though you can upgrade your weapons and your armor and stuff like that, it's like when you become so strong, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like if you're using fire and ice on, was it on an enemy that's really weak to ice, for example, you use fire against it, and like it just doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You know, and it kind of defeats the purpose of having elemental weapons and elemental attacks.
yeah. That's the one of the things that I found a bit like, okay, well, they did that, but basically they should have make it a bit more kind of like relevant in the game.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Was it like one of the things, the differences that I experienced, I remember talking to you about, is that like there's certain parts in the game, so like when you're traveling around and you go into certain other areas, like because I play it on the PS4 Pro, so when I went into certain areas, I would get like a mini black loading screen. It would just pop. It just pop up randomly. Yeah, it would just pop up randomly. And I remember saying to you one time that, like, I remember we were talking about like the was it the machine race? Because you could do like the racing, like certain was it games and racing and stuff. And remember I was saying to you I was struggling on like I think it was like the mountain region, the snowy ice mountain region. And part of the reason why I was struggling because when you get like to like the last quarter of the track, it just cuts it just cuts into this mini loading screen. And it just like literally kicks you out of the game. You're like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? Then like when it throws you back in, you're kind of like, okay, well, you know what I mean? You got enemies lacing you up and stuff, and that was part of the reason why I couldn't finish it. And
yeah, the frame rate as well, that's a bit low as well. If you got a good frame rate in that race, it does help though.
To be honest with you, the frame rates in this game wasn't that bad. Like what I would say is that on the Pro, it was a smooth a smooth 30, you know? Like compared to the first game, like was it Zero Dawn? Like it was good, but like we can just see the improvements and stuff because like there was like a bunch of improvements that they made. Like for example, graphically, the game looks like stunning. Like it looks better than the first game, and the first game wasn't any slouch. The first game looked really, really good, but somehow they managed to improve graphically with the second one. But I almost felt like on the PS4 they had to make like certain sacrifices, and to me it seemed like was giving us better graphics and giving us a smooth 30. Was the mini loading screens in fights and other situations the sacrifice to have these other things, you know?
Yeah. But even me, when on the PS5, I play on performance mode because the difference between the performance and the graphic mode was so minimal that I rather have the frame rate basically all the time.
Yeah. Was it so when you played it? It was what 60?
Yeah, 60.
Yeah, 60 FPS. Yeah. See, like that must have been real smooth. Like,
oh yeah, all the way through, basically, no problem. And basically, when I was changing it to the graphic mode and all that, there wasn't so much of a difference, though, really, So it doesn't make no sense for me to not have the smooth gameplay. I just went for the 60.
Was it like what I did notice? Like, I remember when I was around yours, because like and I looked at it, and like just the weather. I mean, like the weather dynamics and stuff. Like you saw, you know what I mean, like there was more details. You saw like was it obviously you play it on the PlayStation 5, so you don't have any like like graphical pop-ins and stuff. You know what I mean? No loading times, no graphical pop-ins, but just like the animation of stuff and just the way. Well, obviously you got like a really nice TV as well, so that enhances it. But it just looked like you can tell. Even if I didn't have your TV and I played it on mine on the PlayStation 5, you could still see that like there was a big difference in terms of the graphics, in terms of the frame rate, just the way the things look, the weather dynamics. Like even with the skybox, like there was more animation in the skybox with like your one compared to mine, because there was a lot of like when I came to your house and I looked at it, I went back and I like was checking certain things just to see like the differences, So like
there is a lot because of the new processor and all that. You have things like ray tracing and all that, a bit more particle system that on top of it. So yeah, there is things that basically they aren't gonna be able to do. You'll have basically like the main skeleton, but none of the goodies.
Yeah. Well, that's basically what it was. You know, but yeah, like the PlayStation 5 version definitely did look better. Like, I mean, it's going to look better anyway. It's going to run better. It's going to have certain features that the PS4 Pro isn't going to have. But what I can say is that Guerrilla Games did a good job of improving what they did with was it with Zero Dawn, and I didn't think that the improvement would be that big. The gap would be not like, you know what I mean, like it's not massive, but like you can clearly see that there is a big difference.
Yes, for instance, like, you know, they showcase a lot of the underwater world in there when they were doing advertising. And it wasn't much in the game, really. You know, apart from just diving down and just picking up flowers and sometimes finding some holes where you're gonna find some few things under the water, there was not much to do down there, compared to what you could have expected. In terms of fighting as well, I think that they should have basically set up a weapon, especially for underwater situations.
That's what I thought it was gonna be.
Arrows. You know?
That's what I thought it was gonna be. I remember when I saw one of the the first time you saw her dive in the water. I can't remember what trailer that was. And like, you know what I mean? And obviously it showed where you could grab onto things and you could boost yourself with it and stuff like that. And obviously because you got enemies underwater, I just assumed that she had like, you know what I mean, like combat abilities to fight some of them underwater.
Yeah.
And there was just none of that. And it was just like, how come there's none of this? And I mean, and mate was it? And who knows? Maybe there was. Maybe they took it out because obviously, like, they had to bring the game out on the PS4 and was it PlayStation 5? So obviously, they didn't want to like have glaring features that's on one and not the other.
Yeah, well, in that case, they should make an easiest way to pick up them bloody fishes. You know, instead of swimming and all that.
They are so annoying. They are so annoying. Like every right in front of you, you try to grab one and somehow you miss. You're like, how? How did I miss that shit? You know what I mean? But what I will say, like the underwater mechanics, the way she swims, like the way she's got that kind of got that little boost and stuff underwater, and the way it looks as well. Like it looks very, very good. Very.
Oh yeah, all the animation,
like, beautiful. Yeah,
are just great. You know, there's no shadow of a doubt about it. That you work on it properly. You know?
Yeah, like was it like they were big.
Sometimes now everybody's just looking at games like, oh, they got dark graphics, or the frame rate, the character skins, the animation of the face and all that. But the thing, is it fun?
Well, that's what I was gonna say though, because like I think that like I mean like with this current gen console with the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, I think the main focus shouldn't really be on the the graphics and stuff. Like I think it should be on the frame rates. I think every game should be a standard 60 frames per second, and they should. And they should prioritize gameplay. That's what they should prioritize.
It doesn't make no sense not to basically do a game like you're not gonna enjoy. You're gonna play it. You're gonna see some great graphics, but you know you gotta prioritize basically what make it a game. Basically,
listen. Let me ask you something. You know, oh, it just popped out of my head. Was it the other game that you played?
What, Elden Ring?
Yeah, Elden Ring. Is that 60 frames per second?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not too sure actually. Could be.
If that's 60 frames per second, then that's what I'm talking about. Because you can clearly see with
could be on the yeah, it could be definitely. It could be.
Yeah. Well, like that game, you can clearly see that they focus on the gameplay. Like graphically, personally, when I saw you playing it, I thought it looked good. But you was like, oh yeah, like it doesn't look all that. But when I look at that game, you can see that they focus on the system, the gameplay, and I mean, and the frame per second, which is what I think a lot of games should be focusing on, especially with the extra power. But instead of using the extra power for improved and better and creative ways to innovate in terms of gameplay and giving us a standard smooth 60, it's like that's not their priority. It's like they're trying to push the graphics even further, and it's like it looks pretty, but like you said, is it fun? Is it enjoyable?
No, but I think that's Sony, especially, I gotta say, because the Xbox and all that, I got the new Xbox, and seriously, they basically convert a lot of games to 120 frames.
Yeah, but their standard is 60 frames per second, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but a lot of them now basically are just getting converted and all that upgraded to 120, basically, to give people a better experience. And that's what I'm saying. Like, for instance, Sony is not doing as much of that. Now, at the moment, I heard that there is a new upgrade where they're going to just change a lot of game frame rate to a higher frame rate. They got the capacity to do so, you know. And a lot of them games are set up for that, basically. But they're the one that don't want to just basically do the cost of basically running them at 120, you know.
What Sony? Yeah, I think
Microsoft is doing it for a lot of their games on the Game Pass and all that. Or you get the games basically that's been, as they call it, optimized for the new Xbox, basically.
Yeah, man. I just no, I mean, like, no, you definitely bring up a good point. I just think that they should focus on that. But like, regardless, you know, what I mean, like, Forbidden West is a good game, gameplay wise. But what was it like? The one thing I did really appreciate was the improvement with the melee attacks.
Yeah, the
like,
melee was
the first one. Yeah, remember the first one, how it was?
Yeah, it was very basic, basically. You know.
Yeah, very basic and kind of like it wasn't smooth. It was very. It was almost like it was the last thing that they decided to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like the melee attacks. But with the second one, even like her animation, like the way that she moves, it looks really smooth. You know what I mean? Like you can do like chain combos, you can do mix-ups and stuff with it. You know what I mean? Like now, whether it's really was it effective in terms of like taking damage, I guess that just depends on the way that you upgrade and level up your weapons and your armor and stuff. But in general, it's definitely way more enjoyable. I enjoyed. It's funny, but I actually enjoy fighting human enemies than I did machines with like her new move list. And
yeah, it was a bit more fun basically, because back in the days, on the first one you just basically try to kill them with bow and arrow most of the time.
Yeah.
You know, instead of basically trying to get in close quarters. But now it can be fun to do both and all that, especially with some of the upgrades that she get on the moves and all that. So you get a bit more fun into that gameplay as well. But another thing that I was wanted to just moan about again is armors. Bloody armors. You know, when you get so much armors in the game and all that, means you get specs that basically become relevant in your gameplay.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to say, all them armors and all that, no matter why you change the armors and all that, you still at a certain level just destroy everything. You know,
it doesn't change much.
Actually the boost that this armor give against the other one and all that. So that again haven't been balanced enough for me liking. You know, what's the point of putting all them armors on the set that you can see basically? Oh, I'm playing that kind of style of gameplay because I'm just wearing the armor and doing this specially. You know.
Yeah.
It's very hard to be a specialist in that game, basically, in certain things.
I totally agree with you. And to be honest with you, it's got to a point of where I don't pick certain armors because they have certain abilities which will benefit me fighting certain enemies or whatever. I just pick the armor that I think that looks good. Like, you know what I mean? Like the best looking armor, and that's literally it. I've got like 3 armors that I think are the best looking, and sometimes I will switch between them, and some of them are legendary, some of them are rare, whatever it is. I don't care. I just wear. You know what I mean? Because it's like, to be honest with you, like in this game, you could upgrade all your weapons to max and don't even bother like level up your armor, and that's more than enough to deal with anybody. And like what you said before,
yeah, that's the thing. It's like, that's what I'm saying, that they added a lot of stuff in the game that could be great and all that, but basically are just like placebos. They're not the real thing, basically, you know. So
So do you think that this game felt like a bit rushed? Like, do you think they rushed? Do you think they need a bit more time? Like, do you think they probably should have focused on certain aspects of the game?
Maybe they didn't want to go too much in the kind of maybe element of that method, a bit too RPG in that kind of system, but basically they introduce it by putting different specs and all those kind of things, plus all the mod that you can change. But really, it wasn't used to its potential. You know, it's like from the first game to the second one and all that. This is some of the aspects of the game that haven't developed in that much. We got more weapons and all that, but still not real kind of like gameplay based on weapon and armor, basically synchronization. Basically, you know, there is some few of I've seen videos of people doing some few stuff and doing extra amount of damage, but that was still damage based, basically. Oh, I can just use that stuff and that buff, basically do that amount of damage with 1 arrow. Okay, but basically, I'm telling you about a type of gameplay where basically you can do like some kind of freeze build and all that with, I don't know, a type of weapon or whatever, and just destroy everything, or another one that's based on fire or electricity, or, you know, or critical hits, whatever, you know what I mean? You know.
So do you think that possibly like them making or having to bring this game on the PS4 might have held them back as well. Like, was it like what I said earlier? Like they probably didn't want to do certain things because they probably knew that the PS4 just couldn't handle it. Like, do you reckon that's a possibility as well?
If you associate that with my argument, it doesn't matter at all. It's all about game system, basically. You know, if it's not basically, it wouldn't affect the PS4, this type of basically issues about basically making adapting the game to basically more kind of specialization in terms of fighting system. But how can I put it? The only thing basically that I could say is like they basically didn't take the time, or maybe they should have taken more time to develop that kind of aspect of the gameplay, because the game looked good.
It does.
The story is okay, but basically, what make you want to come back and play the game again? That's what I was talking about, the new upgrade that they give.
Yeah. No. It's true. It's true. So, like, do you reckon that, like, some of what you're talking about, do you reckon that you will have to probably more utilize it when you play on like very hard or ultra hard and stuff? Like, do you reckon that that's when it will probably come a bit more, like, was it like it will mean more for you to like, customize your armors and weapons or use certain armors and weapons when you're fighting? Like, so basically, the more difficult it becomes. Do you reckon that will force? I mean, it forces you to use the system the way that they kind of intended, should I say?
Well, that should be the norm, obviously, but people play it on hard and all that, but nobody bother about that, really.
Yeah, that's true.
I know that there's a new ultra hard mod that just pop out at the moment, but basically, I don't think that it's going to make any difference, because if there was this type of possibility in the game, people would have already just talked about it, you know?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's a good point.
And the new Game Plus system and all that I've seen, I'm sorry to say, is sad, but a lot of people, again, for the same reason, the grind is too long to upgrade the weapons. There's too many of them. That's not necessary, basically.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, like, you know, after you finish the game, you're left with like a bunch of weapons and armor that you need to upgrade. But what's the incentive to coming back and playing it again? Because it starts getting very, was it very repetitive, very redundant? You know?
Because you got a new Game Plus now.
Obviously, the game's not as big as Elden Ring. You know what I mean? The game's not as big as Elden Ring, where you could do the story, but you know that there's so much you haven't even explored or done. There's so much things you could do. The game isn't like that. So what sense do you have to really come back to level up these weapons and items? That's why even with like the update that came out recently, they gave you like a bunch of like weapons and stuff. But where's the incentive to actually upgrade them?
And it's so long that you know what everybody's doing now at the moment.
What?
They basically learn about the new weapons and what they are. But instead of going to the new Game Plus and basically just look for them weapons, they start grinding in the old game first for the parts.
Yeah, you can do that. I mean? Yeah, you can do that.
Because the company has to go through all the stuff and all that because it's going to make it too long. So he basically is going to make them basically just grind again, go back, buy the weapon straight down and upgrade them to the maximum and try to go to the new Game Plus. But basically show one thing that's just very simple. The game is not fun to replay. Yeah. Because instead of that, I would have focused on them weapons only because I can grind some new weapons and still enjoy the adventure. Instead of having to go through the point of waiting to the story to be able to unlock some of the monsters, they rather grind it now, basically.
Well, this is the thing though, because I almost feel like, I almost feel like that this game should have multiple branching paths, because we talk to to NPCs and stuff or whatever, and you got different options that you can pick. It's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like they wanted to do something like that, but they just thought no. And if they did, then that would have give you an incentive to play. To come back and play it. It's like, okay, so what other ways can you play it? What other stories can you find and other things as well? And also, the world isn't like, obviously the first time you play it, the world feels quite big, isn't it? The game clearly is bigger than the first game. Yeah, you know the game feels big, but I almost. And this was negative as well that I had with it. That I almost felt like it would have been a good idea if they would have like had the world from the first game and as well as the new game. So, for example, you start off playing like was it like Forbidden West? You play through the new was it the Forbidden West? All the area one was it once you finish the game? Was it like the old areas open up, which gives you more? And I mean, like more things to do and incorporating like the branching plot points and story points would have given players a reason to go back and play the game, even though you're going back to like, you know what I mean, to older areas. Obviously, you know what I mean, like you could give them a facelift. You know what I'm saying? Like the areas look better. You could add on a few things and stuff in terms of story wise. Like it could have given people a reason to play the game, and it's like they just didn't do that, you know. And like you said, there isn't any real reason to come back and playing it. Like I'm playing it now. Was it on New Game Plus here? I'm like halfway through the game, and to be honest with you, I'm just doing it because I just want the new armors. To be honest with you, I know the story. I know what's going to happen. You know, like I think there's only like one or two things in the game where like where you have an optional choice, but it doesn't really change anything in regards to
when you kill one, you get one weapon. If you kill the other one, you get the other one. That's about it.
Like it doesn't drastically change anything. It's just like, oh, well, instead of this character would be there. That's literally it. You know, so this game kind of like without the new game plus, it didn't really have any real replay value. But obviously, new game plus always gives you the replay value, and I think that some of the things that they added with the update is them trying to like give people an incentive to get back into it and play it. You know,
I'm not interested in that though. I'm just gonna wait until they just get basically an extension. If they got another extension game, then I'm gonna replay it. Instead, basically, I got all the stuff. You know, I still need to finish bloody Elden Ring. I'm playing Cyberpunk as well at the moment.
And Was it? I just downloaded Cyberpunk, innit? It's all downloaded now, isn't it? So I'm gonna start. Was it probably on Friday night and stuff, innit? But I'm gonna come around to yours and just watch you play it because it looks like crazy. Was it on the PS5, man? Like,
yeah. You know what you're gonna play at? The co-op or
Street Kid. Have to, innit? Have to. Okay. Yeah, because the way you explained it, it made sense, innit? It's like, well, that's kind of like the in between, innit? So
yeah, kind of. But basically, depending on how you want to build your character, like depending on what you want to do, is gonna unlock you some different type of possibility to chat possibility, basically.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm definitely looking to get into that. But that's because of you. That's because I came around and I saw you play, and I was like, remember I was saying this was the first time where I've been up close with someone playing it where I can see it on their TV. Normally, I'm just watching streams online and it looks good, but when you see it in person, especially on the PS5 as well, you're like, wow, like this looks good. Like I actually want to go and play it. So
it's fun though. It's fun. Yeah. There's so much different stuff to do and all that, and it's so far anyway. I haven't finished the game yet, so I'm not gonna say, you know, how good it is basically because I haven't been to all the aspect of it. But so far, it's fun.
Was it? Have you come across any bugs or glitches yet? Was it so far?
No.
Okay.
There were some things that I thought there was some bugs and all that, but no, it's part of the animation. Like sometimes when you call the motorbikes and all that, they almost flip on themselves and those kind of things.
Okay.
You just part of it.
Yeah. Was it going back to Horizon Forbidden West? Like, one of the things I did like about Horizon was it Forbidden West was the what are they called again? The not predators. Like, you know, the enemies. Like, was it the ones that are like really powerful?
The Apex.
Apex, yes. I like the Apex fights. Like, that was it. Like that was it. That is something that I personally like, and I like the music as well. Like the music that plays when Apex comes, it's kind of sick, isn't it? I definitely like Apex fights. Like, I think that they were the most fun fights, some of the hardest fights, and I kind of felt like I had to be very creative and pull out whatever arsenal of weapons or abilities that I had to like fight them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like, you know what I mean? But other than that, sorry, go on.
Is only, I think, you're gonna basically have the chance to enjoy the game or basically use the game to its full potential only if you play very hard.
Yeah.
That's
Definitely
the
see
only
that.
time that you're gonna have to use all the potions, all the foods, all the stuff to buff yourself to be able to survive. But if you play it on normal, all that thing is just bullshit. You're just gonna just run through it. It's true.
Yeah,
It's
but
true.
but this is the thing though. Like, do you think that they did that because they wanted more people to play it and experience it? Because you know what I mean, because you already know, you know what I mean, because you play a lot of Souls games, and you know what I mean, and you're playing Elden Ring, and the argument that we always hear for them types of games is why isn't there easy mode, or why isn't it this, or why isn't it that? And do you think that like with the game probably just made it? Because like personally speaking, I think the normal mode on Zero Dawn is harder than normal mode on this. I might be wrong, but that's just how it came across to me. Like that's
Yeah,
how
I
it
think
felt when I
so.
was playing
I
it.
think so as well. They made it very, very easy to go through. Basically, you were too overpowered and all that. The only thing that basically I enjoy sometimes is like when I was grinding some parts later on in the game, is changing the system. Like even if I kill him quickly, don't take the
Yeah,
time to do some knuckles just to be able to get all the parts to grind some of the the big monsters and all that. That's the only
yeah.
thing because the grind was too long. Basically, you can just basically nuke him and then just pick up everything that you need and just repeat basically. But
No,
apart
it's
from
true.
that, yeah.
No, it's true because like the grind this long because there's a lot of armors and weapons that I haven't even like maxed out yet, like upgraded, like leveled up completely because it's just long and it's so repetitive to the point of like you're going to the same places, you're fighting the same enemies. It starts getting boring, especially when you finish the game and you got all these weapons and armors and stuff. It's quite boring. You know what I'm saying? It's actually quite boring. So that is one thing I will say. But one of the features that I did like was was it like well I call it the Resident Evil stash box. So like you can pick up so say for example you can only pick up like 100 herbs. If you pick up more than 100 herbs, it automatically just goes to the stash box, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
I
that
did
was
like
quite
that feature.
it was a good system. So that even if you just well, yeah, it's a good system. It's a good system, definitely.
But this is the thing though, because it's like because you've got features like that. You know what I mean? That lead you to, you know what I mean, to think that the game like is bigger, it's gonna be more more harder, more competitive, more challenging. And obviously you're playing it on normal and hard because I played it on hard mode. Like it's not even that much different. It's almost like you got to play it on very hard and this new ultra hard mode for you to actually like reap the benefits of having that stash box. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very rarely, that on normal hard that I had to like, you know what I mean, like, that I ran out of weapons to the point where I had to use the stuff from the stash box. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just think that with this game, like it's a good game, but I think that I think that personally, I think that the PS4 kind of like, that kind of restrained them, like technically, with with a lot of ideas that they probably wanted to do but couldn't do because they had already said that it was coming out on the PS4, and obviously like install base is dominantly still on PlayStation 4, so they want that money. Innit? It's a PlayStation exclusive. It's not some multi-plat. So I think that contributed to it as well, man. But yeah, man. What's it? Let me see. Oh yes, that's it. So did you come across any bugs and glitches? Was it when you were playing the game?
Yes, a few times when I was basically sometimes going underwater, I was getting stuck in some places. Some lake as well. One time I was like basically doing like some kind of when you go to bandit camps and all that and try to just basically clear them. And I was trying to find something in the water. I went down there and I got stuck into the floor and you couldn't get out. You have some few kind of I don't know, not that much, but a couple of those basically where I was stuck into the frame or this kind of things.
Did you ever go to was it your home base? Like okay, so like for me example, when you speak to Gaia, like you go into that room. Like there were times that when I came out and it's almost like the world didn't even it took so long for the world to load, even though the doors open, I just ran out and I just fell out of the actual game itself. Like did that ever happen to you?
No, that never happened to me. But the load system was almost like like so quick down there that basically
So this is what I'm saying. So like, you know what I mean? So like this is what I'm saying. So like in terms of even just gameplay and bugs and glitches, like you're not, you know what I mean? Like you're not even really experiencing the type of like game breaking glitches and bugs that I experienced.
I haven't. I got stuck, I think, twice, if I can remember properly, in the game. And basically, that was it. No problem after that with
Was it and like you never was it and when you was flying around on was it so when you flying around did you ever come into any like loading screen when you was flying or it was just 100% like
No, the only thing basically like some stuff basically you couldn't move forward basically past this area. I was getting out of the map basically apart from that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So basically there's no I mean so there's like there's quite a few I mean because my experience is like there was like a lot of and this is the thing like and this is reason why I think that they kind of like maybe rushed it or didn't have enough time to like work on the game because I never experienced any of these like bugs and glitches with the first game and like with with this one like with Forbidden West it was like I'm all falling through the world I'm all like getting stuck in walls and shit you know what I'm saying I'm getting these loading screens like in boss fights in like you know what I mean in like the races even when I'm flying around I'm it's just cutting I'm getting loading screen like stuff that's really like breaking you know what I mean breaking my enjoyment or my experience of just playing the game you know and
they ran a lot of stuff in that game basically. It's like it was running on the PS4 Pro but limit.
Okay.
All the stuff happening on the because it was made because with all them foliage and they downgraded it as much as they could, but it was too much to take sometimes, like from the animation to the movement of the grass, the wind, and all this kind of they try to just put too much into for the processor. So it was normal.
That's what I was gonna say as well. Like, did you ever experience like was it out of sync was it like lip syncing, like with the sound and lips, or like with the
no, never.
Yeah, see, I experienced that quite a lot. You know, like you could, I mean, like you could tell, or in my case, you could hear when like the machine's working hard because you can hear the fan. You can hear the fan, it's like, so you can hear it like working a little bit when like in certain points. You know, and was it like I sometimes wonder like did I experience like a lot of these glitches or like did I experience or I come across so many like these mini loading screens because the machine was just overheating, so it's like its way of just keeping the machine and not breaking it or bricking it. You know what I mean? I don't know, it's crazy. But I just think that it's weird when you got
give you an experience there. But yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot to take for the process.
Yeah, it definitely was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, was it like I'm not gonna front? And like also like another thing that kind of annoyed me, which they seem to have like fixed now, isn't it? Yeah, was that the level cap 50, and it kind of ties into what I was talking about in terms of like like your character's level, the weapons, the armor you got, and how they like weaken your character. Like, I felt like they should have started you. Started you on like okay, like if they're doing a trilogy, yeah, they should start your character on level 50, innit? And just go on from there. But instead of doing that, you start from level 0, and it was just like goes back to that whole thing of, well, why are you weakening my character? Why are you making me leveling up again? Like what? So just go into a new region, what you try to tell me that everything that I did before doesn't mean anything. Like you're still, you know what I mean? Like you're still in America, you're still in the because the Forbidden West is San Francisco, isn't it? So it's like it's not that far removed. And but obviously they kind of remedied that with the update as well. But prior to that, I thought it was quite annoying the fact that like you max out, you level up to level 50 again, and it's like okay, and what now? You know what I'm saying? So like if I'm gonna play it on hard, are you telling me that the level was just 50? You know what I'm saying? Or if not, just make every game like. You know what I mean? Like, just make it so you can level up to level 100 in every game if that's the case. But I've never understood them capping it at 50. It was weird to me, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes they just come up with some ideas. Basically, they want to balance the game so that you don't become too overpowered and all that. But even at 50, you're already overpowered anyway.
Yeah, but until you start playing it on very hard mode and this new mode now, you ain't gonna be very overpowered. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like it's they made it hard so that you actually
have to grind and rank up a bit more.
Yeah, like you feel that. Yeah. So you know what I mean, so you feel that. Do you know what I mean? Like definitely feel that. Was it one of the
new weapon? They should have given some new beast or something, some new monster to fight.
Yeah, but they kind of did though, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah. So like, there's quite a lot of enemies that are not in the first game.
No. I mean, like in the new upgrade, like the latest one.
Oh yes. Actually, I think they're saving that for the was it for the DLC? They might be saving it for the DLC, you know.
Yeah, so they should have bring the DLC straight down. So what's the point of that upgrade? Oh, you can do a new game plus, you know. Oh, you seriously, I
To
don't
be,
call it the date really.
was it, to be honest with you, it probably would have been a better idea to drop the new game plus and all the new features with the DLC. So it gives
Yes.
you a reason, I mean, something new to explore and the
Mm.
incentive to upgrade your, get the new weapons and armor and actually stay in the world and upgrade.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely more
but,
sense though.
you know what I mean? So like now, like people gotta be upgrading, doing the same thing. Just bored out of their mind. And when the DLC comes out, like how much like incentive is there to really play it, and after you finish it, stay in the game? I don't know, but yeah, but oh yeah, so like what I was gonna say, yeah, about the story. So for example, in the first game, yeah, was it when they first said the was it the Zero Dawn plan or whatever, yeah, like my first thought of the plan was like, this is before I found out what the actual plan was and stuff, yeah, I thought it was it for them to go out into space. And even in the first game you find out that they tried to go out into space and like and like the and the spaceship either blew up or got lost or something, innit? But I thought
Yeah,
that
that's
that
what
was the plan, to get people off the planet and stuff, innit? And colonize like like have a moon base or colonize like Mars or something like that. Was it? That's what I thought the plan was and stuff until was it until you find out. But even when I was thinking that in the first game, like I was thinking that like wouldn't it be a good idea if they came back to like Earth and stuff? And that's literally what they did in the second game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely,
Like,
definitely. And I think it
you know
was
what I
a good
mean?
one to just basically open the story and give it more possibility. Now you know that you got people that basically survive. You don't know how old they are, but there's still not enough information of them, basically. You know.
Yeah. There should have been. Was it like even if there's not like more? Was it like they okay? Even though that they are like like they are like was it the main protagonist? Should I say like the group of them and whatever? And the girl kind of switches up and stuff in it. It's like you don't really like when you find out what happens in terms of the story. You don't really empathize with them because they don't really show you from their perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you watch a film and you see a villain, like, you know what I mean, like Infinity War. Like, part of the reason why Infinity War was such a good film because you got Thanos' perspective. And what, you know what I mean? And his logic made sense. The way he went about it, like, okay, you can agree, disagree with it. Like, it's kind of like crazy, but you understood it. But it's because they took the time to show you his perspective and why he's doing what he's doing. With them, it's like you saw them appear, they disappear, they appear again, and the only person you saw was I can't remember her name, yeah, it's the girl in it, like the woman. You know what I mean? That kind of like, you know what I mean, that kind of betrays them. And she kind of tells you like kind of what happened. But
Even
obviously,
that,
like
just a
she
little
always talks about,
personal story, not about the.
yeah, it's her personal story, you know what I'm saying? And even though that she kind of switches up and whatever, it's like you don't get from, I mean, like you don't really feel it or understand it from the others because you don't really see them like interact with each other. You don't hear them talk about certain things. So even though like the concept of like humans leaving and building up their technology and coming back for whatever reason is a good idea and concept, like in terms of them being a villain, they definitely dropped the ball. They definitely dropped the ball on that. It wasn't, I mean, like it wasn't yeah, like
They
I feel like it
were
could have been
good,
anybody.
a good villain enough, know somebody to pity, and had no choice. I didn't know they were a bit. It was a bit weird the way they just introduced them. And one other question: what the bloody hell did it take them so long to come back? They had the technology since ages. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? But yeah, like I just thought it was interesting when they did that because it's like that whole concept is what I thought that they was gonna do in the first one, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like I thought, no, I mean, I thought that like, no, I mean, I thought the main plan was to go away and it worked, but the humans that were left, they kind of like, okay, well, you know, somehow a small pocket of them survived and they managed to repopulate. Then these humans are coming back. I thought that they were gonna do it in the first game, but they incorporated it into the second game and stuff. So yeah, so like, what did you think about like was it like the music in the game and stuff and the score, the sound effects and the voice acting and stuff, you know, because
Oh yeah,
obviously like I said, like you know what I mean,
quite good
like
though. You know,
oh you thought it
operating.
was good, yeah?
Yeah, it was quite good. That's quite good. I like the sound effects and all that for all the animals, the fighting, the visual, the particle effects and all that. I think it was okay. It was okay.
What do you reckon that they improved like a lot from the first game?
Soundtrack and all that. Well, it depends on, but it was okay for the kind of environment and the world. Basically, it was okay.
Was it? I must admit, like I do think that because like I downloaded the soundtrack, innit? Like I do think that this soundtrack in the game is better than the first game, in my personal opinion.
Oh, the first one, yeah.
Overall, I do think it's a better soundtrack. The voice acting, I mean, like to be honest with you, the voice acting in the first game was really good, and obviously you got a lot of the same voice actors to come back and you know take up the roles of the characters and stuff, not including the new characters, you know. But yeah, man, I thought it was good. Like I said. The only real issue I had with it was like the out of sync lip syncing sometimes. Like there was times I had to actually reset the PlayStation a couple of times because like, it just couldn't go back into sync. It was really weird. And,
it was really buggy though, at the beginning. The game had a lot of few issues and all that. A bit
what
like,
even for you?
No, not for me, but I said for PS4 and all that. They just bring some few upgrade and all that. They had a lot of
yeah, definitely. But I definitely I definitely thought that the sound of the weapons sound more impactful, especially when you get like the guns of like like the machines and stuff, and you can use them. Like they sound really powerful to the point where it's like Halo shouldn't be able to be holding that shit. Let alone even like shooting it.
Oh yeah,
it just sounds really, really powerful
and especially when you play on the PS5 with the haptic feedback on the pad and all that. Yeah, you get a lot more kind of like immersion in the game.
Well, obviously, that's one of the few features that you get to experience on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah. When you pull the bow and all that, basically, you can feel the resistance.
Yeah, you feel the tension and stuff, innit?
Yeah, tension. Yeah.
Is it so? Yeah. Like, what about like you know what I mean? Like just the you know what I mean? Like the sound effects of the world and the rain and stuff. Because you got the speakers, you got the surround sound thing. You know what I mean? So how was that? Like, did you ever use it? Like, did you ever?
Oh yeah. With the Dolby and all that, yeah, you can see all the sound around and all that. It's nice.
Yeah. Was it like that? That's nothing I noticed as well. Is that I noticed on the PlayStation 5? Is that like the weather dynamics and the weather changes were more frequent and stuff. I mean, compared to the Pro, like it switched, but it doesn't really switch that much. I mean, unless you go into like
a lot more rain, the snow is a lot more. You can see the steps a lot more and all that. So yeah there's a lot of interaction. Even then, you know, it would just still make the PlayStation run a little bit in certain action. And when there's a lot of things happening on the frame and all that, we got different monsters interacting together and you fight in the middle. Yeah, you can get a bit of a ramming sometimes.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, so I'm trying to think. So was it so like finishing the game and stuff like? Does it like if they brought out the third one? Would you play it? I mean, are you interested in the story of where?
Yeah, let's see what they do with it basically, because to a certain extent we got really Horizon the first Zero Dawn, then we got Forbidden West, which is basically a repetition but perfection of the first one to a certain extent with a bit more narrative. But now for the third one, they need to basically open up the horizon a bit. If it's still gonna be some repetition now, they did like the Coast West, now they're gonna go to Europe or blah 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 or something like that, then it's gonna be still boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so if it's just traveling around, maybe I think they're gonna have to take it. I don't know, or out of space, or basically if they keep it down there, just upgrade even the weapon system, where you get more of them guys arriving with different type of weapons, where you're gonna have to fight different type of a machine now. I don't know, more aliens, and I don't know.
Is it so like what do you want to see like overall, like just in terms of like gameplay system wise, like what do you want to see? I mean, being the fact that like I can't imagine that the third game is going to come out on the PS4. It's probably just going to come out on the PlayStation 5, isn't it? So with with that extra power and not the restraint of having to bring it out on the PS4, like what do you want to see? Like what do you expect for the third game?
More interactive fighting, where you're not just basically gotta just shoot something and all that. Basically, you know, more things that you can do. I don't know. like create a different type of weapons, for instance, using different parts from the animals and recreating some of their attacks. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, have different things like that that make it a bit more fun. I don't know. And a story where you involve the villain a bit more because it's all about Eloy winning at the end of the day. But she and got basically the character become only interesting as strong as the villain is. If the villain
it's true, it's true,
too
it's true.
weak and all that, the character look a lot more weaker and all that. And basically, people tend to take more time about listening to all of the drama and the melodrama she was doing through the story. You know?
Yeah, yeah, it was super annoying.
Relevant instead of basically focusing on the action and basically the enemy that being curious about the enemy. You know?
No, that's actually a good point you make, because I think that was part of why I felt kind of a little bit underwhelmed when I finished the game, because like you said, you know what I mean, like the enemy, I mean, the main character is only as strong as the enemy or the threat you're going up against, you know.
Yeah.
And like and it wasn't particularly that threatening, to be honest with you, you know what I mean. But in terms of like, I mean, like what I probably would hope to expect is that a bigger game. I think that the world's got to be bigger. And I say that because, you know, again, Elden Ring, I mean, that game is massive. That game is so big. And if they can make a game like that, as big as that, then there's no excuse why Guerrilla Games can't make a bigger world, a bigger environment. I want them to make...
That would be a hell of a job if they could go to that extent and all that. And make... But basically, they need to get a story that's going to be able to contain such a big world.
Yeah.
You know, you need a very good story with very good side stories, a very, so that basically that big world is relevant to basically the story. It's not going to be only basically a little narrative with another grind feast where you're going to have to go all over the place to just look for feathers or, I don't know, the joint of one animal over and over and over again. I don't know how long. Because if it's that big, then I don't want it, you know.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, because like, I mean, because I sometimes think that the reason why they do stuff like that in the game is because the game isn't that big and isn't that much like that much substance in terms of like the was it the story and just the replayability. It's like it's almost like they're putting things in the world purposely to have you running around to feel like you're actually doing something and the world is more fleshed out instead of focusing on the story and improving the mechanics of the I mean the world, the system, you know. But yeah, like I definitely want them to build I mean to have a bigger world, even if it's a thing of where they just like have all of the region from the first game and the second game and the third game, but obviously the third region or whatever they're going to do is going to be supremely like bigger as like the second one. I think they need to do that, and I think if they do that, then I think that like as long as they have, like you said, really good like they focus on story and stuff and characters and plot and like I said before, I think if they was to maybe incorporate like you know, like multi-choice, you know, branching possibilities and stuff, like I think that would be good. And also like I mean, like kind of do a Witcher kind of thing, like focus on like the I mean like little side missions, but really flesh it out to the point where it's actually really good, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? I do think that that'd be good. And I think all the things that I think and felt like that they were going to do but didn't do because of the restraints of the PlayStation 5, instead of like technically and with the system wise and stuff, they have to do it like with the third one. They have to do it with the third one, like combat underwater, for example. You know what I'm saying? Or like maybe combat, you know what I mean? Or maybe air combat when you're flying on the mech and stuff, and you can fight. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things that like I kind of expected. I thought that they were going to do in this game that they didn't do, and I think a lot of it is to do with the power restraints of the PS4 or having to bring the game out on both consoles and stuff. You know. So like yeah, I think that's a definite. But I think as long as they, to be honest with you, like, if they can improve on the story a little bit, then I think that would be a good thing. But I don't know, man. I mean, I think that they could. I mean, I think if they can go away and work on the third title for like, I don't know, 4 years,
Yeah.
3-4 years maybe, then by all means. But no, I mean, but the only thing I'm
Probably,
concerned about,
that'll be before 2026 anyway.
well, this is what I'm saying, because I mean, the PlayStation 5 isn't going. The PlayStation 5 isn't going away anywhere anytime soon, because like people can't really. I mean, like people still can't get them. So
yeah, for real.
I mean, so I can see that this console generation is going to go on way longer than what it probably like was meant to. You know what I'm saying? Just because of that reason alone. Yeah, you know what I mean. But at the same time, like they are focusing on Horizon, Call of the Mountain, that VR game. Like I don't know if you saw the trailer. Is it? What was it? That quickly? What do you think of that anyway?
I don't know though. I don't know. It's like basically VR games and all that are very hard to basically see until you basically get immersed in it. You know, seeing visual like that and all that, you all depend on how he's gonna react when you basically got the headset on. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Very hard to say basically what he's gonna play like, or the interaction is gonna be.
Do you think it looks good though?
It look okay. It look okay. You know. It's not Half-Life Alex or anything like that, but yeah.
No, it's true. It's true. It's not Half-Life Alex. It's not Half-Life Alex. All right then. So, I mean, so like, let's talk. Let's talk about. Was it a little bit about the patch, like the update that came out, the 1.14 patch and stuff. So, obviously, this patch comes with like New Game Plus, ultra hard difficulty mode. We've selected the difficulty mode for New Game and New Game Plus. Reset skill functionality within the menu. So like, you know, your skill tree, you know, you can actually, you've probably seen it, but you know how like you can actually unequip all of it and reset it to what you want. Was it like, do you know what? Yeah, like that doesn't make sense to me, because I played the game from beginning to end, and I filled out all of them apart from 2 slots. That was it. And if I can do that on one playthrough, I don't understand why you feel the need to add this feature where you can deselect it and it doesn't make any sense to me.
No, well, for new player now, basically they haven't finished the game. Now it makes sense because they can reset the points if they want to change their way through the progression for the first time progression.
Yeah, I know, but like it makes it. I mean, but isn't that like? But isn't that implying that like the game is so big and so in depth that with your one playthrough you're not going to be able to fill out the whole thing? When that isn't the case, you actually can.
It's necessary at all, as you said, because you're going to unlock all of it, and basically there is nobody that's going to need to have everything open because nobody's going to use all of the tools. That's
yeah. It's true. It's true. No, it's true. It's true.
Weapons that you use once or twice just because you got to use it to unlock something. After that, you just put it in the shelf. You're never going to use them again. You know?
Yeah.
Like that, I never used that Frisbee that much, where you gotta just pick it up and just send it back to just boost the power and all this kind of thing. I found it too long as a gimmick.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Like I've only used it like when I've been like really, really low on like arrows and stuff, and it's like that's like the only weapon that's still got something, and I'm still in some mad fight. That's like the only time I've used it. It's got new functionality to apply a different look to Aloy's armor. I guess that's cool in a way. Was it new rewards available in New Game Plus, weapons, dye, and face paints, which is cool, I guess. And a new trophy set, which is only like 3 extra trophies. They're basic, there's nothing special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But do you know what? Yeah, like I don't think that this is like this patch is being integrated into the game properly. Now I don't know if it's just with the PS4 or it might be different with PlayStation 5. But every time I go back into the game and I see the menu, you don't see you don't see New Game Plus and ultra hard mode. It's when I click on to continue and I go I go out into the menus when you see it then. But
there's lots of people that has been saying that there's some few glitch going on at the moment. There's some new type of arrow that they got that basically don't work properly. They don't do the damage that they were supposed to do. There's some few glitch anyway.
No, I mean, like what I would say is that it was, in my personal opinion, I think the New Game Plus and the ultra hard difficulty is probably the best 2 features there, to be honest with you. I think everything else is just more aesthetic, you know what I mean? It's just more extra things you can get, extra armors and stuff. It's cool, but
for people that want to roam about and then keep on just killing stuff and all that, just to get this stuff up and all that. But basically, it just like, yeah, I might do that as well myself when I'm bored. I got nothing else to tap about. Or let me just work up there and just mock about for a little half an hour, and after that just switch it off. But I ain't got no incentive to play it until basically there is a DLC. Really.
What I will say is that this just like they're setting up for the DLC. That's what it looks like to me anyway.
Yeah, I might as well do that when the DLC is out, so I can just join at the same time and get some new weapons and have some fun instead of basically. Oh, I'm
Do you know what? Yeah.
I'm gonna kill that monster in 2 minutes instead of 2 minutes 30. Yay!
Well, that'd probably be the better experience if you wait until the DLC comes out, to be honest with you. But yeah. Yeah, so basically, you know what I mean? So like I end up giving this game like a 9 out of 10 in person. Was it personally? Even after playing New Game Plus and stuff, like a part of me feels like I need to drop it down to like 8 or 8.5 or something like that, because obviously like my experiences on the PS4, like the issues that I had with the game, the glitches and bugs. That's the reason why I think that is probably a more appropriate score to give it like an 8 out of 10 in my personal opinion. I really enjoyed the game. I thought it was fun for what it was, but like there was so many issues that I experienced in the game that I didn't experience in the first game, which, you know what I mean? So it's like the flying, for example, and it going to loading screen, cool, because that's a new feature that wasn't in the first game, so I can understand that. But me running into a different area, or just me running around or fighting, and it just cuts off, like stuff like that, or me falling through the world, I never experienced that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so like my experience, kind of like is the reason why I would probably give it like, I mean, well, like reevaluate and just say, yeah, right now, even after the patch, is probably 8. Was it 8 out of 10 and stuff? Or was it obviously your experience is like probably a lot different because you didn't experience a lot of the game breaking bugs and glitches and have any interruptions in regards to just your normal gameplay, you know?
Yeah,
nothing like.
It's true though, you know, but I wouldn't give it more than that myself, you know.
What? So play it on the PlayStation 5
just because of the very good graphics. It was a very good in terms of animation, visuals, and all that. But I think that basically the narrative was lacking.
Yeah, it definitely was.
If they had basically a very good narrative, or basically a very good, a lot more kind of like a mission that was part of basically introducing more to the lore of the world, instead of having different people with different tribes having their own beliefs. You got to just adapt to each of them every time you go. Basically, more interesting. Basically, so yeah, for that, I'm not gonna give them an 8 maximum. 8 max.
Yeah, and was it and I definitely think that Aloy like really annoyed me. You know what I mean? Like she like I ain't gonna lie to you, like I think it took me until probably like halfway through the game before she just stopped annoying me. Like she was really pissing me off with like the attitude, the way she was carrying on. It didn't make any sense to me. It was almost like it was a different character, innit? And stuff. You know what I mean? And the whole reasons behind it, like her just like leaving everybody, you know what I mean, and like not saying anything, then acting dumb. You know what I mean? Like you don't know the reason why people are acting, you know what I mean, are pissed off at you when like they essentially helped you to save like the world. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know what I mean? It's like they made a bitch.
Character and all that, with that kind of issue, basically, I don't want to lose anybody else and all that, but basically, you just basically putting yourself higher than all them people, you know?
Yeah.
Problem, basically, but he went as true after a certain stage. It was no more of that. Everybody just kind of joined her and all that.
Yeah, kumbaya.
Kumbaya, you know, Hakuna Matata or whatever they want. But yeah, all that basically, that narrative aspect. That's why I can't give it more than 8, basically.
Yeah. Was it so like what did you give the first one then? Like when you played it back then? Like what did you think?
The first one, for the time, I give it a 9 out of 10 actually for the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, because of the fact that, you know, it was the first time that type of game was it was a new system. They did a very good job for the first basically game. So yeah, it was giving them a good 9 out of 10 basically for not messing up.
Okay, that's actually interesting. That's actually interesting because
basically.
No, but that's actually an interesting point that you make. That so you're giving the first game a 9 out of 10, but this game, even though it's essentially a bigger, was it a better game technically and stuff like that? Like, was it actually giving the second game was it like a lower score?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, for one simple reason, you know, basically is when they call PlayStation next gen and all these kind of things, it's something that
yeah,
PC can do a long time. You know, so when you get no, seriously, so when you get the power that basically what the PC can do now on the console is something that you expect already. If they're calling it next gen and be able to handle this type of graphics and all that.
yeah,
They got that right, you know. So fair enough, but that's not all the game. On top of that, now you need to have basically a good narrative, good characters, good, you know, so that the game basically become a whole, basically. And it's talking about them aspect, basically. That if the graphics wasn't good, they would have get basically a 7. You know?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I definitely think that's a good point, because I think that, like, even though that they've got, I mean, they had more power, they've had experience from making the first game and stuff like that. The fact that they didn't manage to make essentially a better game than the first game says a lot. It actually says a lot, you know. I mean, with every advantage, it like actually says a lot, you know. And to be honest with you, I think that reason is probably why I'm slightly concerned for like the third game. You know, what I mean, because because is there a situation where they peaked so much for the with the first game for what it was at the time, and they just start doing this and just going downhill, you know?
Yeah, that's it. But it depends, you know, of the story's been basically, because you may start the game at a great story and all that, but after that the game is finished, you don't know what to do with it. How am I gonna go from there? Depend how much you develop, you may just went a certain way and all that, and it's not gonna, you know, as I said, basically you got a very good antagonist. If the protagonist is not good enough, then you ain't got a good story, you know.
Do you think that like this game, like in terms of replayability, maybe, or maybe giving it like a higher score, like do you reckon that like a multiplayer might have like changed that or helped the game in terms of replayability, or just, you know, like the enjoyment, like having just having a reason to just get back into the game or stay like it was?
I don't know how they got, if they were doing the multiplayer or they were going to set that up. It could have been fun, but you know, really in terms of that, you know, people already got Monster Hunter. You want to just go and do a multiplayer.
Halo was actually in Monster Hunter, remember?
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so basically, I don't know if the multiplayer is like, there's no point try to expand too much. Then after that, you're gonna lose your identity. You want to do multiplayer as well. You want to do this as well and all that. Then you cannot focus basically on the core of the game, because you're trying to just introduce different stuff basically and then you're gonna go like, oh shit, you're getting that amount of people in multiplayer. We're gonna forget about that and focus on the multiplayer, and then you kill the game. It's gonna be because a killing monster fist, you know. I don't know.
Is it what was it? So like, didn't you mention something about Elden Ring's got some like is it multiplayer it's got?
Yeah, you get some type of multiplayer where basically you can duels where you can do PvP against player, or you can have some stuff where you can just go in while somebody else is playing the game, you can raid them and try to kill them.
This is like when you're playing the game, like in story, whatever, you can just go and do these things.
Yeah, but you need to agree to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's your choice. I can play online still, but if I don't basically invite people to be able to raid me or raid people or go to certain area, I can't do it. Basically.
Okay. All right then. Well, like, was it so you started you started to play this, then you stopped and you started playing Elden Ring, didn't you?
Well, I finished basically what do you call it? Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, what? So you finished Forbidden West first?
Yeah, I finished it first. Yeah.
Okay, why did I think that you stopped? I mean, you started it and stopped, then went to go play Elden Ring.
No. It's just basically I just took a break on Elden Ring at the moment to play a bit of Cyber City. Basically, that's what I did.
Oh yeah. That's it. I'm getting confused. Yeah, I'm getting confused. You know what I mean? So like, tell us quickly, like, because you played was it Elden Ring right after Horizon? Was it like Forbidden West? So like, tell me, was it a little bit how it felt to come off playing, was it Forbidden West and going into Elden Ring? And even though they're not this, I mean, like the same type of game, but they are similar things, open world kind of thing. Like, did you play in Elden Ring, look back at Horizon Forbidden West and think to yourself, like, it's a good game, but they dropped the ball in a lot of things, or like this game right here is showing you how it's done, or the possibilities. You know what I mean? I know how much that you. I mean,
First
I know
of
how much.
all, like there's one aspect of they're a bit different game in terms of soul game are basically very like the RPG, pure and true RPG and all that, where you can basically build your characters the way you want to and all that. But in terms of a kind of a system of game, when I left Horizon Zero Dawn and started playing Elden Ring, first of all, I had to basically take myself out of the norm, basically, and reassess what I'm playing, basically, which is a soul game. There's nobody that's going to take your hand, basically show you where to go, and basically, and it's not progressive at all. You know, you start a soul game, you're going to just come out and in front of a character in front of you. For a normal logic person, oh, that's the first person that I need to deal with, you know.
Yeah.
But no, in the soul game, basically, somebody that you may have to just grind 20 hours and before you can come back and just fight him, basically. And there is no basically an area that tell you, oh, you need to go to that point, you need to go there. You're gonna find basically quest and mission as you roam this place. So he invites you basically to be curious. Apart from there's no icon on the map or anything like that that will tell you, oh, this is there, this is maybe there's some few teleport or some points basically, but you're not gonna see that there's an NPC, there is this thing hiding down there. Basically, you need to be curious.
Yeah.
You know, and there's no, you can come back to a boss whenever you want to and find other places. It's basically the freedom of a Elden Ring. Basically. That's what they got right. You know?
Yeah, because you know it's because I get the impression that like two people could play that game and have completely different different experiences.
Oh yeah, even you can play that game up to yourself up to 5 or 6 times and have a totally different experience depending on the way you want to play. You know. There is so much build in that game that basically at the moment the community is doing build based on characters from animes. Like you got start from the Ichigo from One Piece, so they did the Ichigo build. There's like another one that did a One Punch Man build. You know, because there's so much way of playing that game that actually it's possible to make something that's relevant to that.
So the mod community is proper like getting involved in it.
Oh yeah. And it's not like mod or the modding stuff. Basically, they're using building the game and recreating characters from different animes.
Okay.
You know, it's like for instance, I don't know, like Ichigo from Bleach that used like light blades. Did a build that used light blades as well. Another guy basically did a build on what they call it, Demon Slayer. When the guy with the two sword like that got the beast briefing like Sonosuke, you know, the guy that got the white boy in Demon Slayer.
Oh yes, yeah.
And basically did something like that with a double sword that got some teeth and like using some wind element as well and different stuff. So yeah, you can do so much stuff that you want, you know.
Yeah. Was it? And like, do you think that like when you finish the game, like, could you see yourself playing it again? Is it a type of game you can just easily just get back into because there's so much to do?
Elden Ring.
Elden
oh
Ring,
yeah, without. Yeah. Basically, because when I finish it, I'm definitely going to try to play a different way. Because at the moment, I'm playing basically as a type of a hybrid swordman, basically that use a bit of magic, but basically I'm just doing focusing on dexterity and bleed basically. So all my attack make people bleed and lose a lot of blood basically when I'm fighting against them. I'm not using like a long range. And so next time I can try a wizard, or next time I can try to be a holy man that is using holy magic and meditation basically. So there's so much I can do basically, like or I can play a barbarian that's gonna do his next time using some big war axe or something like that instead of being going for speed. You know?
See, that's the thing, like
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you, that I do want to try that game yet, but like I just want to experience it on the PlayStation 5. Like there's certain games here that I just want to play on PS5, and that's one of them because
it's
I get the impression that the way everyone yeah, of course. And like, I get the impression that the way everyone
not in game where you're just gonna go and tap button and just basically just kill everything in front of you. That's Like no matter how buff you are, some guy will still kill you if you just made a mistake and just don't approach them properly. You know.
Yeah. No, but that's realistic anyway. You know what I mean? It's real. It don't matter how strong you are. Like if you get caught slipping, you can still get laid out. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
you know what I mean? But it's like I want to play that game on the PlayStation 5 because I get the impression that the way people talk about it and the experiences that they're having is because they're playing it on, you know what I mean, on the new gen consoles. You know what I'm saying? No loading times and so forth and so on. So you get like a real good experience. Like, I mean, I think that's probably like part of parcel how they was even able to like make the game so big and have deep, big, like massive dungeons and stuff.
It quite a lot, you know. So in terms of like a lot of the graphic stuff that they got, like things like the remake of Dark Souls and all that. Or no, I think it's Demon Souls. You know the game on PS4 that they remade not long ago.
Yeah, that's might be good, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot better looking than basically Elden Ring. You know, that got next gen graphics and all that, but Elden Ring has been stylized and all that, so that it doesn't. But basically, they focus basically on the gameplay and the frame rate and all the monsters. But because of the style, it still look nice. Basically, you know, that's what I'm saying, that you can still play it on PS4 and you're going to have a bit of a difference.
Yeah, but you say that though. I remember we mentioned it before, and all I could think about was my experience with Horizon Forbidden West. Like, I know for a fact here that like when I go into dungeons or certain things, there's gonna be some mad loading screen. It's gonna be a madness if I try to play it on the PS4 Pro, isn't it?
I'm not too sure. Well, I'm gonna just deny that, but I heard some few people saying that it wasn't that bad. But basically, I think the best thing to do is to check some videos of people.
Yeah. Maybe I should actually. Was it? Yeah, like, I should do that because I haven't done that. Like I haven't done that. It's just I just assume like just from my experience with Horizon Forbidden West. But was it when you laugh here like how everyone was hating, like even like the people at Grid Games and other people were like hating was it towards was it Elder
the ring. Yeah, I think because you know they made basically a masterclass of ways to make a good one, basically, and a lot of people are having some fun in there and all that, and so a lot of the developers are basically, you know, they put the basically the line very high, you know, so especially.
But this is what I'm saying though.
This is what I'm saying because we're saying Horizon. But now with Elden Ring down there, Horizon won't beat them in terms of like best graphics or something like that.
But look at what happened. Yeah, but look what happened though, because they focus on gameplay and system. Listen, like Nintendo, like they ain't got the best graphics, but one thing that they have got is that they got really good fun games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
That's why Nintendo always does so well. You know what I mean? Like that's why they're not focused on high-end graphics and 4K this and how, like, they don't give a shit about that. Focus on the gameplay and is the game fun? And that's what they did with Elden Ring. You know what I'm saying? It's like you had so many people that was in the middle of playing Horizon Forbidden West stop their gameplay and go and play the other game, and that tells you a lot. You know what I'm saying? It looks. I mean, like, yes, it looks pretty, which it does, by the way. Yes, it looks pretty, but it's not. I mean, but it's not as fun as this game over here. That might not look as good as this, but everyone's gravitating to this, and it's always been like that. But for some reason, Sony has this thing of where they just want to focus so much on beautiful graphics. You know what I'm saying? And it's like. And like, it's not just Sony. It's just, I mean, I think a lot of developers do that. Are doing this in the industry where they're focusing so much on the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's true. Well, you got the new Unreal Engine. Everybody's showing what they can do with it and all that.
Exactly.
But, it's good if you can have some nice graphics and all that. But basically, if it's not basically a story that I'm gonna make me enjoy them graphics, and it's just gonna be nice graphics around, I'm just gonna be bored.
Exactly.
You know, I'm paying for a game, you know, it's going to cost so much money. You know, like for instance, Elden Ring and all that. I got basically gameplay for my buck. Definitely, the money that I spent on that game is going to be well spent playing that game, and I'm going to be able to replay it. You know, so really, that's what people want.
And it's funny you say that, because when I finished playing Horizon Forbidden West, a part of me like thought to myself, was this really worth the money I just spent to buy this game? Was it? See what I'm saying? Like, even though it was a good game and I did enjoy myself, but it was like I didn't feel like I mean, like there was this big, massive progression from the first game. Yes, there was, but it's things that I kind of expected. But it's
Yeah,
just like, even though that they pushed the boundaries with certain things, it's like I said before, there was like a cost for like doing certain things that, you know what I mean? And so it was just like, was this game really worth the money? You know what I mean?
it's a bit like, for instance, like when you buy the latest big Final Fantasy, I think it was 15, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you buy it, you pay the money, but actually you got gameplay for that money. You're gonna enjoy it. The story is there, the world is big and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's possible to do that. If you do just the beauty of Final Fantasy with a rubbish story, 15 wasn't going to be where it was, basically. You know.
Yeah. No, it's true. No, it's true.
It's very important.
No, it's true. Like Last of Us Part 2, for example, yeah, it's like had beautiful graphics, actually had good gameplay. So gameplay wise, it was good. You know what I mean? It had like really good music, really good voice acting, but
A
the
lot of people hate the story.
and the characters was so shit to the point where I just didn't want to play the game. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly.
And the gameplay is actually really good. It's actually fun, but it's like, because that game, like, do it is here, like with RPGs or certain games like that, like what I mean, like part of what makes was it Final Fantasy games or RPGs like really good games is the story and the characters. That's the main thing. You build around that, you know what I'm saying? You build around that. And it was the same thing with The Last of Us, like part 2, and definitely the first game. It was like the story and the characters they built around that. Because to be honest with you, the first game, like for The Last of Us, isn't even all that great, to be honest with you. It's good, you know what I mean? Like for what it was really good. But like when you look back at it, like you know what I mean, it's aged very well. It's still a really good game. But technically, it's nothing amazing. There was other games that were doing better things, but because the story and characters were so good and so compelling, that was it. That's what made that game what it was. That's why when they did the second game, it's like, yeah, it's got, you know what I mean, like technically it's really good, system wise it's good, graphically it's good, but like because the story and characters was so shit, it was just like, why the fuck do I want to play this game? And after I finished playing the game, yeah, I was like, I blatantly said that this game wasn't even worth it. I regretted buying the collector's edition. I've never ever experienced that shit before. Before in my life before, where I bought collector's edition, like of a game that I expected to be really good and it ended up being shit. Every time I look at was it the statue, I just get reminded of the fuckeries I went through when I played that game. Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, you were looking so much forward to it. I remember back in them days and all that. Yeah, it's good,
man.
And then you just
No, I mean, like, was it like, you know, with certain games, like, was it, or like certain games that mean something to you, and they're bringing out a sequel, and it's like, yeah, it's an easy win. You just, you know what I mean, like you expect it to just be good, and you play it and you think, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it happened a few times though. It happened to me a few times, but yeah, like when there's most of the time when the first one is too good, then the following end up being a mess. Yeah, it happened a lot.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah. I don't know, man.
Right.
I don't know how much time you got. No, I mean, like, was it if you need to bounce or anything like that? But
Yeah, I'm gonna have
to
get some munchies of the.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. No, I mean, I did say like hour and a half, so I mean, it's fine. It's cool. But yeah, man. I'm trying to think. Okay, yeah. So I hope everyone enjoyed this stream, this podcast. Two brothers chopping it up. You know what I mean? Like chopping up in regards to a game called Horizon Forbidden West from the PS4 Pro side and the PlayStation 5 side. Two different perspectives. You know what I'm saying? So I hope it gives you insight, like regardless if you've got PS4 or PlayStation 5, whether it's worth buying or so forth and so on. But yeah, I hope it was informative. Laji, let everybody know where they can find you.
At the moment, only on Instagram, doing some photography, but I'm gonna start a channel soon where I'm gonna do a bit of airbrushing and building some Gundams.
Yeah.
Very soon. Like,
yeah, I look forward to that. Yeah, show them something. I'm
not finished putting it together, but this is one of the latest one that's just been done. Not the camera, just the thing.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
The airbrushing is finished almost on it and all that. some gold buttons, but we need to finish building the arms and the rest of it.
Yeah, man. No, I mean, like, no, I mean, like, you got some Gundams that you need to like, no, I mean, they're sitting on the shelf that you need to start working on soon, man.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean, like, the Double O Riser and stuff. You need to, no, I mean, you got some gems, you know, I mean, like some really good mechs that you need to, well, gunpla that you need to start working on soon, man.
Oh yeah, the Double O Riser needs to be done very soon, though.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so go check out Ladji's Instagram, and I'm saying, like, the link to his Instagram is in the description down below. You can go click on that and check on that. Go and follow. I mean, got some really good like photos and stuff.
Cheers.
And,
like wildlife.
Yeah. What's it? It's like stock photos you're doing as well, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah, stock photo and all that.
Yeah. Very beautiful, rare, high quality photos and stuff. So go check that out. And myself, you know, I mean, you know, Jay's Gamepad across the board, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. You can find me there. So go, please follow, like, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Go do all that lovely stuff. And yeah, I guess you know what I mean, we will see everybody sometime soon. You know what I'm saying? And,
Take care. Keep on gaming.
All right, brother, man. All right, brother. Cool.
Easy.